When I found out that he was working in a bar in Stuttgart to earn his living, I could hardly believe it. Ambitious, curious, funny, with a good sense of humor, probably winning the World Cup.
Thomas Tuchel is the England manager. I've come to Vienna to speak to the man who spotted something in him before anyone else, Ralf Rangnick. Hallo, servus.
Hallo Thomas.
Servus.
Hallo.
Bitte.
Okay.
When I first thought about Thomas, the person that knows him probably the best in football, that's you. You were his manager in the early days. So can you describe what he was like back then?
We got to know each other back in 1998 when I became head coach of Ulm in the third division at the time. I think Thomas was 25. Unfortunately, he had problems with his knee. For that reason, I only had him for 6 months. He was always interested in why do we play the way that we played. After a couple of weeks, when you become a head coach, you can pretty precisely tell which player could become a coach.
Did you actively support him in becoming a manager?
Interesting enough, yes. When I became head coach of Stuttgart and when I found out that he was working in a bar in Stuttgart to earn his living, I could hardly believe it. I called him and said to him, what are you doing? And he said, yes, I have to earn my living there. And said to him, Thomas, please, why don't you come to us, to Stuttgart, and work as a youth team coach? And of course he was interested. Then I brought him together with the academy director at the time, and that's how his coaching career started.
Was it obvious then that he wanted to become a professional manager in the professional game?
What was obvious that he was a very bright, intelligent kind of person for a football player, being smart, bright, asking questions, always trying to get better, to improve. Ambitious, curious, funny, with a good sense of humor. He's somebody who loves people, who loves to improve people, who loves to develop teams. For a head coach, you need to be analytic, you need to be intelligent. For me, it was clear that he could become a very good coach. To foresee that he would become one of the best coaches we ever had at the time was difficult.
I mean, looking at Thomas's career, often he stepped into a club and had immediate success. What do you think the secret is behind it? Why does he quickly analyze what goes wrong and how to fix it?
He's a very good problem solver. To be a good problem solver, you have to start with analyze what is the current situation when you come to a club. When he came to Chelsea, he came in the middle of the season, I think it was February. What he did there and also with other clubs, he analyzed the situation, what is the perfect fitting, the perfect formation for that team. He's trying to put each player on his best possible position and then finding a kind of approach, an analytic approach with which kind of style of football and formation can I be successful.
Do you think he can have a similar impact with the national team?
I mean, it's different. You only have them for a couple of weeks, maybe even days. That's why every training session that we have with the national team is highly valuable. You have to treat each session as a valuable training session and don't waste any time. And I think Thomas is good in that. And that's why I think he will, pretty sure with his coaching staff, find the best possible solutions again.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Wembley Stadium for Thomas Tuchel's squad announcement ahead of the World Cup qualifiers with Albania and Latvia.
What do you think people expect of Thomas now in his role as the England manager?
Probably winning the World Cup.
Well, that's one thing for sure. Is there anything else in the build-up, assuming they qualify for the World Cup next summer?
I mean, the kind of the squad that he has at his disposal is amazing. Media interest is even more than here in Germany. But in the end, it's all about results, style of play and results. Thomas is also a kind of coach who wants to control games, dominate games. Then you have a big chance to win them as well.
A lot of people in England discuss possible formations. He's played different formations. Is there anything that comes to your mind you think that he would play with?
I think he favors a back four normally, but of course he can also play with a back three. Most of the national teams, of the top teams, they play with a back four. Even more so if you want to play proactive, high-pressing football, I think it's easier to do that. The English national team, they have enough players to play with a back four. And then, of course, midfield, possibly with a 4-5-1, but also possible to play in a 4-3-3. He has all the options in the world with that kind of team.
Is there an extra pressure, you think, as a foreign manager?
There is, because in most countries, most people and the tabloid media, they expect, although they would wish to have somebody from their own country, from their own nationality, to be the head coach. You have to convince people, not only with success, with playing an attractive kind of football, but also with your personality. But since Thomas has already worked there for Chelsea and for Paris Saint-Germain, for big clubs and for Bayern, I think he has all the experience that you need for that kind of job.
Well, that's a good foundation. So let's see how it pans out. Thank you very much.